So up to now we've been having a little fun creating a few books and how to format and a few tips and hints and niches and all kinds of bits and pieces. And we've got a lot more of that to go. There's something really important, I'd say vitally important, that you need to know and understand. And that's your bookkeeping and paying your taxes. Now, a lot of you will be thinking, yeah, but you're not earning enough through KDP or through your self-publishing to warrant getting an accountant or filling out any tax forms or anything else. But you could be wrong. You really could be wrong. And there's reasons for that. Now, I'm not here to tell you how to do your taxes. This is only advice, how I see it, my own personal opinion. Now, I've got a couple of qualifications in accountancy. I've ran my own businesses for years, one for 20 years, and which I've started from scratch, with no help from anyone at all. So learning to do my own books was important. So all these things I've pushed and pushed and pushed. So any time I had off from work, I did courses and things. So I did a couple of courses in accountancy, and they were the best things I did. So if you find yourself with enough time to do a course in basic bookkeeping or an MBQ maybe in accountancy, could be just level 2, I recommend them. They're absolutely vital for any business, including a self-publishing business, which is basically what you are. You're selling a product. You're a business. There's no way around that. It's not like you're not a hobbyist. You're not doing it just for fun, although it can be fun. You're doing it to earn money. And if you're doing something to earn money, you're a business and liable for tax and everything else that goes with that. But depending on your country, we're all allowed to earn so much before we get taxed. Now, if we already have another job, then we really have to include that in our earnings. So if we've topped out, say we're allowed to have £10,000 or $13,000 a year before tax, and we've got a job that pays that much, then anything we earn through self-publishing is taxable. So not the 10 or 13,000 you've already had, but you put it all together, it all goes into a pot. So anything over that amount is taxable, no matter what it is. Like, related to business and work, obviously. So I want to tell you, it's so important now, and that's why I said early on in one of my videos, it might have even been my first video, why it's important to keep a track of everything, why it's important to make sure you have a separate bank account from the start, a brand new bank account, just to keep track of what you've purchased, any software you've purchased, what's coming from Amazon, what's gone out for different things, for stationery, for computer equipment, for anything at all, and you keep your receipts. Have a different email address so that all your letters from Amazon and your payments for different things go into a completely different email address. Separate email address and separate bank account. These are the two vital bits of software access you need. So, yeah, don't think you're not going to get it. Don't think you're going to get away with it scot-free. You might. People do. Depending on how many people are doing it, it could be a big job for the tax. But the more people that get onto this KDP business, the more the tax man will be interested, or woman will be interested, and they'll want their share. Don't be mistaken about that, and they will catch up with you at some point, or likely will. And a lot of us are getting tax forms now through Amazon. They're being forced to send out these tax forms to anyone who does KDP. Keep a track of everything you spend. So I'm just going to create a simple spreadsheet. Now, you could use Word and just write it down. Keep your bank separate, like I say, so you've got a record there with your ins and outs of your bank account, so you can give a copy of your bank statement to your accountant and speak to an accountant. That's always a good way to go first, and I recommend you do that. You've watched this video, contact an accountant. Sometimes it's free for your first half hour. Sometimes it's just a small fee anyway, but get their advice on what to do. In the meantime, log everything down, write everything down. If you're using Word, write it in Word. If you're using scraps of paper, wrap it in scraps of paper. Keep it in a box if you have to. And people take boxes, shoe boxes, full of receipts and all kinds to accountants. But I think the best way to do it is through software. You can email your accountant your documents, and the chances are they've got the same applications like Microsoft Word or Excel. And a lot of them use Excel. A lot of them just use dedicated accountancy programs. But they can transfer things from Excel to these programs, and they can copy things down, they can mess with things. The chances are they'll have used Excel. And that's why I like it. And that's why I'm going to show you now why it's worth you using a spreadsheet program, whether you're working with one on Apple or Windows. Excel or something like it is the way to go. And let me just give you a quick tutorial on how to keep a track using Excel. So what I'm looking at here is now I've got date, profit and loss, and I've made a column. Now you're looking at this and go, well, how do I make a column and that? So here's a blank section of a spreadsheet, or I could even open a new spreadsheet, but I might as well just use this. So it's quite simple. You left click on a mouse to highlight any boxes you want, and you click on borders, and you can create borders any way you want. You can just have a line at the bottom underneath if you want, or you can go to borders and you can create them like that. Then you can go to this here. Again, you're using your left mouse to click, once you've got a crosshair there, to click on that, drag these over, and you can create sizes like that. You can then right click on your mouse, copy and highlight with your left mouse a whole load of columns, a whole load of lines there, and click paste. You know, you can just mess about with that for a bit until you've got the hang of it. And then when it comes to lettering, you can just type in, for instance, loss at the top of your column, and click on that again with your left mouse, just like you do with everything else. Your left mouse, click on that box, and just like in Word or any other word processing document, you can center that, you can highlight it, you can do whatever you want with it. And what I've done here with this is you've got numbers. So I hope I'm not confusing you here, but it really is quite simple. Go over and over and over this if you need to. Now you'll probably start off with lots and lots of grids. The whole page will be lines, faint lines in the background, where you can switch them on and off. When you go to view and grid lines, you can switch that on and off so that you end up with a blank background and you can create your own visible squares. Now if I highlight that, you can see what I mean. They're in the background, but they might be on in the foreground when you actually open a new Word document, Excel document. So anyway, no, I hope I'm not being, like I say, I do this all the time. So, you know, I appreciate that it really looks quite simple, but it is. Column here, click to the top of the column where I've got loss, and you can see 150 there. Now if I right click on my mouse, format the cell, and I can choose currency, 2 decimal places, so it's .00, for example. I know I have to say that because, well, just in case, and click OK. And now I've got the UK pound, which is what I'm using. I can do here for profit. Highlight the whole column, right click, format, and it's on number at the moment. I want currency. Okay. So as you can see here, this is the thing to do. In your profit, you put a date. You don't have to do it in the loss because it will carry over on your lines. You can put another line in there if you want to, just so you know where you are, using borders. But really, you're better off just doing what you want, getting it how you want it to look. As long as you've got 2 columns or 2 sections with profit and loss. That's all your accountant really needs. It's all you need to keep a check of everything. And it's awful to have to actually talk about this kind of thing because it can take a bit of the fun out of your self-publishing. But it's important. It really is important. Let me get rid of this here. So I'll highlight that with my left mouse, drag across there, let go, right click my mouse and delete. And then that's that. So I'm giving you a few little tips here with Excel. So I've chosen a date, 11/12/22. What was it? So I could put in here item. And again, I could put in here item. So I've received my royalties from Amazon and they've gone straight into my new bank account. I've made £10 profit in royalties. I'm just obviously an example on that particular day. Now, what's gone out? Well, nothing went out that day, but the following day, on the 12th of the, and I can just double click inside a box to make any adjustments. 12/12/22. Amazon transfer fees came out. Now, if you've had royalties already, you'll see these little transfer fees. More than likely, usually just a few cents or pence, or a pound or two. It's not a lot, but it all adds up, and they're taking that. Remember, so £10 in, and in the losses, £1.50 out. So that's just a simple way of keeping a check, and all you'll be doing then is you'll email this to your accountant, or you'll put it on a disk and drop that off at your accountant's, or you'll print everything out and take it to your accountant when the time comes. And if you're doing your own books and you don't want an accountant, you'll easily be able to go to this section here and transfer those numbers into your tax paperwork, whatever that is called in your country. So another easy way that's one of the reasons I like using Excel for this, is it keeps things simple, or a spreadsheet in general. It keeps things simple. And if I left click on that box and hold it down and drag just past the end of that section that I've designed there, I let go, I go right over to here to auto sum, and it puts that figure down there. So anytime I put another number in, it calculates that at the bottom, and so on. Now let me just remove those for a minute. You're getting an idea of what I'm doing here anyway, I hope. Now in the losses, do the same again. From the first entry, if it was there or there, from the first entry all the way down, left click the mouse, hold it down, take it to the next section, let go of the mouse and click auto sum. And any amounts that go in there, whatever, you just put a 2. You don't have to put the currency because you've already formatted these boxes to do currency. You don't have to have currency. You can just leave them with numbers, and a lot of accountants do that. Right, okay, so we've got a total I've spent, a total I've earned there, and a total I've spent there. But we can do more. We can make it a lot easier again. We can take that loss away from the profit. So it's a simple thing to do. We put equals, and then we go to this column here, D and 36. So it's D36 is where that's located on this grid. So we put, and this one here is G36, as you can see there. We've got D36 and G36. So what we do is, don't worry about what's been going on in that box. We do our own thing. So we put D36 minus G36. And we click anywhere. And that's what's happening. So we've now got the profit. And anytime we enter something in here, any of these lines, let's say 20 there, and 10 there in the losses, so 20 in the profit, 10 in the losses, it calculates it here at the bottom, here at this column, and tells us what our profit is, or loss. So for instance, if I put 50 went out that particular day, we've got a minus 31.50. And in that case, really you either got an overdraft, or if you're using a bank account for that, which you will be doing, you've got an overdraft facility, or you've put a little bit of a bumper in there, or you've got money in it already. We don't like minus. We don't like going into the negative. But at the same time, we don't want to go too far into the profit. So that's another little tip. People go on about how it's bad that if you work for yourself, you don't really have to pay as much tax as someone who works for an employer. But that's the kind of a bonus. It's a good thing, because the only way you can really keep more money and not pay as much tax is if you invest it into your business. So you're working on your business, you're building your business up by not taking as much profit. So let's say, for instance, let's just get rid of these. And I've made our original £8.50 here. But I want to buy, I don't want the taxman to be getting hold of that. And some people think that's wrong, because they're not paying the fair share of taxes. But you're building on your business. So let's say, for instance, I've got this profit of £8.50 here. I don't want the taxman getting hold of that. So I'll buy something. So I'll buy some stationery. And I'll put that in this column, which is the item. And the stationery may have cost me £8. So I'll put 8 in there. And now I've got a profit of just 50p. Again, that's not wrong, that's business. Big businesses, any businesses, try not to pay too much in tax. If they've got a big wedge in the bank, they've made a lot of profit, they will try to spend that somehow, unless they need to live on it. Unless you're a sole trader and you need everything that comes in so you can actually live on it. You're not getting income any other way. So you've still got your allowance, which may be £10,000 a year or whatever it is for your country. So you can still get right up to that limit before paying taxes on anything else that comes in. So you don't have to be worried about that if that's the case. But if you've already got a job, if you're doing this part-time, or you're earning a lot of money doing this, yeah, you have to really sort of balance that about a bit. Nobody wants to pay tax. You know, I understand that people really hate the idea that big businesses don't pay as much tax. They have a lot of employees that they've got to take care of. They have a business they have to maintain. They have a business that they have to make sure gets through some really hard times, if not that year, 10 years down the road, to keep their employees. So it's vital. It's part of business that you don't pay as much tax as you could. But you're investing in your business. I've just bought some stationery. That's going to come in handy. I might not have needed it today, but I might need it tomorrow. That's not underhand. That's business. So spend it if you on your business if you don't need it to live on. And that's just a few tips. So there you've got your paperwork. Super simple. And like I say, get a bank account. You're going to need one. A separate bank account. You don't want to be handing in your or going through your bank statements when you've got your gym membership and your restaurant bills and whatever else you've got. It'll be a headache. Keep it simple. New email address and a bank account. And I hope this helps.